Welcome to my channel. This is an indication of some of the things that I cover on a regular basis in my videos. If you haven't already subscribed, please feel free to do so, and don't forget to click the little bell so that you'll get notified of future videos. Please feel free to share my videos on your social media, and I hope you enjoy the video which follows. Hello everybody, I'm just doing a short video here to show the people who got my 50 free samples of my sourdough culture and those who are buying it on eBay now, the method that I use to reconstitute it. It's in another video, but it's a longer video with other things in with it, and you have to watch the whole video to get to it, so I thought I would do a separate video. I recommend equal proportions by weight of water and flour, whatever flour you choose to use. Really, this is just white all-purpose flour. I think I've suggested in the mail out that goes with it 4 ounces of each, which is probably a good idea. And then one of these little sachets of the culture. Put the whole thing in and mix thoroughly, I guess would be a good thing to say at this point. Make sure it's well combined and the dehydrated culture is distributed throughout as well as possible. It's really quite a simple process. Okay. And this happens to be one of those snap lids, but you use any container that you can seal. A mason jar would do, or any plastic container that has a good tight lid. And now just leave it at room temperature, and I will bring you back and check it every 24 hours. Within 48 hours you should start to see bubbles. The culture is becoming active and starting to work with the flour and water in there, but I'll bring you back tomorrow and we'll see what happened. Well, it's now 24 hours later, day 2. Not a lot of activity, but if you look closely there, you can probably see those bubbles. That's the sourdough culture, the wild yeast, starting to work, producing carbon dioxide bubbles in the flour and water. It isn't strong enough yet that I would think about feeding it. What I will do is give it a good stir, redistribute the yeast that's working in there. And we'll come back in 24 hours time and see what it looks like then. Well, it isn't quite 24 hours later, probably 40 hours later or so, I guess. And I wanted to show you what's happening here. I don't know if you can see the change in the bubbles here or not, if that'll show up on the camera. There are a lot more bubbles, but they're very fine, little bubbles everywhere, and the actual volume has increased because there's so many bubbles, so much is not air, it's carbon dioxide, but so much air into it that it has lifted the volume up. And if you can look in and see inside there, is that showing? There are bigger bubbles on the surface coming up, so it is now very active. And what I'm going to do is give it its first feeding. Whenever you're feeding the sourdough culture, it is good to use equal proportions. So I've already measured out 8 ounces of water and 8 ounces of all-purpose flour. And it isn't rocket science, so if you're a little over, a little under, it's not a big deal, but approximately equal proportions. And since this was made with 4 ounces of flour and 4 ounces of water, plus that little bit of the powdered sourdough starter, we can say that that's 8 ounces as well. I like working with the 8 ounce amount because the recipe that I use And if you've got my sourdough starter, I gave you a copy of my recipe. Uses 16 ounces of starter. So if this has now got 8 ounces in it 3 times, 24 ounces, if I take 16 ounces out of it, I'm left with 8 ounces. So I can once again add 8 ounces of water, 8 ounces of flour, and we're good to go again. Whether or not this will be strong enough tomorrow that I would consider doing that, we'll have to wait and see. If not, what I will do is I will discard some. I will save 8 ounces of it and discard the 16 ounces until we get it up to strength. You don't have to discard. Using this particular method of 8 ounces, you don't have to keep discarding once you get your sourdough culture going. You can just use it once a week or whatever, whenever you want to use it, more than once a week if that's what you want, and retain 8 ounces and add the 8 ounces of flour, 8 ounces of water, and there isn't anything to throw away that way. That's why I prefer, for my recipe, for the amount of bread that I'm making, that's what I prefer to do. If you kept doubling it, like you would end up with a 5-gallon pail full of the stuff in no time, because now that we've got 24 ounces here, if I add 24 ounces of water and 24 ounces of flour to it, well, you can see what I mean. Every time you double it, you'd end up with a quantity that a commercial bakery would be using. And this is another one of these containers that seals, but as I said before, any container that would seal airtight is fine. You could be using a large mason jar even, would probably still work just as well, but it needs to be something that the air can't get into it. So this, once again, will sit at room temperature for 24 hours or thereabouts, and I'll bring you back. Before I go any further, let me clear up what I said there when I misspoke. I put a comment up on the screen, but then I got thinking, a lot of people watch this on their phone and whatever, and you can't read the little print that goes up on the screen. When I said 40 hours, what I meant was this has been about 40 hours since we did the inoculation, if you want, when we added the culture to the first batch of flour and water, and less than 24 hours since the last time that we checked on it. So hope that makes that a little bit clearer. Well, it's about 8 hours later, same day, so we are roughly 2 days into this process, and as you can see, we have a very active culture. It has almost risen to fill this container, large bubbles everywhere. This is as far as I will take it. I just wanted to show you what's involved in reconstituting and getting the culture to come to life again. I think if I were going to use this now, I might strengthen it one more time, like I just mentioned in the last clip. Look at the air bubbles that are in this. I would take 8 ounces of this, 8 ounces of water, 8 ounces of flour. Either let it go overnight after I mixed it, or if you mix it in the early morning, let it go for 6 to 8 hours, something like that, and you'll have a wonderful, strong culture ready to make your first loaf of sourdough bread. But I don't think I need to take this video any further. I think I've shown you that the little packet will come to life in about 2 days' time. About 48 hours or so. Comes to a good strong culture. I'm going to refrigerate that, and I think I will use it myself the next time I make bread. I think I might have said earlier in the video, but if I haven't, I'll repeat myself now. I now offer the culture on eBay, and I will put a link directly below this video to the eBay site where I'm selling the culture, and I will ship it anywhere on the globe. So if you are interested, you can pick this up and have it shipped to you. Well, it's not shipped to you, it comes to you in an envelope, first class mail. So thank you very much for watching.